It's time to level up. Let's go. More money, that's a level up, level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, that's a level up. More money, that's a level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. Level up, 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 level up. I'm on my grind, watch me level up. I use my mind, watch me level up. God on my side, watch me level up. Tune in right now to the level up. They say that knowledge is power. Growing my strength as I read every hour. You knew what I knew, every villain would cow. Make the most of my 24, I can just bow. Ain't here for nothing, I'm meant to do something, no doubt.
Hi.
I got me, I'm covered. I can't live a boy in my life, yeah, I live it. Let's have a discussion to end all the suffering. Yeah, entrepreneur, that's that boss talk. Legal leaders, we are all stars. Generational wealth is what I'm on. Faith, family, finances, that's all God. Oh Lord, told him that I'm made for this. Oh boy, told him that I'm making it rich. Learn from Dr. Bowen and Professor Lee. Listen close, level up when you catch these chicks. More money, that's a level up, level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. More money, that's a level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. Level up, 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 level up. I'm on my grind, watch me level up. I use my mind, watch me level up. God on my side, watch me level up. Tune in right now to the level up.
All right. Good morning, Joshalynn.
Good morning.
Thought she was about to start her own little beat there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, as you know, we just celebrated Juneteenth. Very special holiday if you're African American, especially because, it was only nationally recognized by the government as of last year, even though I knew about it only because I have family in Texas, and it was really big when I was a kid down in Texas. And other than that, I would have been clueless about it for many years. So it seemed like, to me anyway, my impression was Juneteenth was only really celebrated or recognized in the South. And then after a while, Denver started celebrating it. And I'm just very thankful that we acknowledge that significant marker in our American history, because, it was essentially our freedom, right? It was the announcement after the Civil War that slaves could be free. And it's a little sad, to be honest with you, that we're just now recognizing it, 200 years later or so. I might be a little off. Dr. J might have to help me with that. But what do you see the importance of Juneteenth, and did you guys do anything to celebrate it or recognize it?
Normally, me and my mom and like our family, we would go like on Saturday, we'll go to like the Juneteenth parade. But we didn't go this Saturday. Well, this year, but normally we go.
Okay.
Hey, Amira, how you doing? Yeah, I would say for us, yeah, we went this past weekend, the family and I, and we went down there to celebrate. It was just a great thing to just see, Black people, people of color, and all races just come together. I think that's a beautiful thing. that we've been able to create. And I'm very proud to be Black. I mean, we're overcomers, overachievers. We've been through a lot, but we've been able to excel in the difficulties that life has brought us. And so I think it's something just to be proud of. Be proud of your skin tone, be proud of how you look, be proud of yourself. And it was great. I actually got to see one of our speakers that will be able to speak to us shortly. I got to see her at Juneteenth as well.
Yeah, we also attended a Juneteenth celebration in Florida, and it was a bunch of bounce houses and very loud music. It was truly a celebration. I mean, it had food trucks. You know, there was just a sense of community that, you know, I think folks of color are really good at cultivating. You know, when you have festivals like that. After doing a little research, now I realize why it was such a big deal in Texas and nowhere else, because they were the first state to make it a state holiday in 1980, which is probably around the time I was going down to visit my family and down there. So that would explain a lot. So the Emancipation Proclamation, as you know, was the legal order to basically bring the Union, the North and the South together, and also make slavery illegal or release all the slaves from the United States. As we know, that sort of happened for a season. There was a significant uptake in African Americans getting educated and even getting into government positions, high positions, really, really quickly during that time period. And that time period was called the Reconstruction. And it only lasted for 12 years, 1865 to 1877. This was a time period where, hey Dylan, there seemed to be a sincere effort to really just bring our whole nation together. You know, there was so much strife, so many deaths between the North and South soldiers that I think, you know, there was definitely a time for healing that needed to happen. And obviously a lot of that battle was over the Civil War, slavery. So the economy was built on a lot of free labor. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Anybody can profit when you don't have to pay for labor. So obviously looking at that whole period of time, you know, to be able to say, you know, human beings were looked at like literally like cattle, literally like a commodity, literally like, as we would say in accounting, a cost of goods. And to be able to heal from that era and have, you know, the harmony of every human being looked at as a human being, to be regarded as, you know, equals, no matter what the landscape or playing field is. It's still a hope and a dream, but at the same time, it is a reality today. You know, and it's just a blessing to be able to experience that, because I know there's just been a lot of advocacy to get us here, and there still continues today. So, Dr. JB, I think we have our guest speakers here. So why don't you go ahead and do your thing?
Yes. All right, everyone. So we are blessed today to have two amazing guest speakers, some powerful women doing amazing things in the community. Like last week, how we had Miss Ashley Collins. This week, we have two more wonderful women who are going to help you all and guide you. I think that's important. I want you all to be able to reach out to these individuals, pick their brains outside of this classroom. Okay, every person we bring to you, and I'm gonna keep reminding you, is build a relationship with them. All right, because they've been through what you're going through and they were able to excel. So I have Miss Joshalynn Green Turner, a phenomenal woman of a nonprofit that she has, doing amazing things in the community. How we met actually, well, she actually reached out to me through LinkedIn and connections. So remember, I told you all is connecting with others, networking, reach out to people, email them, different things like that. And that's kind of how we came to this great partnership or relationship. And then I have Miss Tuneishia Harris, who we actually share the same office. We do the same business together. She runs the African Service Center, and also her business is All That I Am. And so I'm just so happy to have them here. So I'll go ahead and have Miss Green Turner go first, and then I'll have Miss Harris go after. But thank you again.
Hey, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. Bowen, for that introduction and inviting me out to speak again. I am having some internet issues, unfortunately, out of all days, so most busiest days of the week. So if my connection gets spotty, just let me know and I can repeat if necessary. But yes, as mentioned, I am Joshalynn Green Turner. I was born in Ames, Iowa by way of Denver, Colorado. I went to Thomas Jefferson High School, so go Spartans. And I went to college, which is an HBCU in Birmingham, Alabama. So that's actually where I established my nonprofit. But I'm a big believer in sharing my story. I never would have guessed in a million years either or have gone to college, because I'm someone who grew up in what statistics call a broken home. So I went to 13 different schools, lived in 7 different states, and grew up in a foster care environment. But despite my circumstances, I was able to prevail. And so I'm a firm believer, or I always share my story and my journey, and with my current students involved with my program, that if I can do it, you can do it too, no matter what your circumstances are. How can the sky be the limit when there are footprints on the moon? So, went to Miles and graduated in 2014, and that's when I established my nonprofit. I had originally hoped to play basketball, and just knew I was going to go to the WNBA, but I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus, and I had to give the sport up. And so it was never student athlete growing up, and it was always athlete first. So for me, not going to the NBA was the best thing that never happened to me, because I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today. So a little backstory of Phenomenal Women. We are an organization that empowers, encourages, and uplifts all women to reach their fullest potential. And so this is successfully done through 3 components: youth enrichment, where we have a 12-week life skills program centered around cultivating young people's leadership skills and life skills through mentorship and workshops. So we just finished our 4th cohort, and we've taught students everything from mental health awareness to etiquette in dining, financial literacy, resume preparedness, how to create a LinkedIn, and so much more. And then we have our women empowerment component and our homeless outreach. So we create about 500 care kits every year, and our students are involved with giving back and serving, because that's what it's all about, being able to serve and give back when we can. So we're very big on teaching our students that. And then on the flip side, I do have an LLC. So I'm now a full-time entrepreneurship, and I do career coaching as well. So I don't know how much time I had. Hopefully I didn't go over, but that's a little bit about myself and my nonprofit and my background. And I'm just, super excited and humbled to be here, and, very impressed by the work you all are doing with this program.
Thank you, Ms. Green Turner. So what we're going to do, class, so you don't feel lost, is we're going to have both speakers go, and then after have you all ask them questions as a panel, since we have more than one speaker today. Okay? Nod your head, Dylan, if you understand. Okay, thank you. I know you. All right, let's have Ms. Harris go next.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Dr. Bowen, for the introduction as well. I am Tuneishia Harris. I was born here in Colorado, raised in Louisiana, northern Louisiana, and that's where my humble beginnings began. My whole family is from Louisiana, and being raised in the South, it made me proud of being Black. I had Black educators. I was surrounded around innovative individuals that had different mindsets of business and entrepreneurship. I did not know that I was an entrepreneur. It just came to me. But I am an entrepreneur. I am the manager of the African Service Center. I run this office here in Aurora, Colorado. I graduated from Smoky Hill High School, and I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which also shaped me to be even prouder of who I am, a Black woman, and especially going to school at Smoky Hill High School. I wasn't always seen or heard. I became a bail bonds lady, and bail bonding is where you get individuals out of jail for different reasons. Not everyone is guilty. It's unfortunate circumstances, but that was the beginning of entrepreneurship for me. And again, I did not realize that I was an entrepreneur until later, but being a bail bondswoman allowed me to grow, but to hear people, hear the voiceless, to help them, to guide them, to mentor them. And that led me to opening or creating my business, All That I Am. And all that I am is all that I am. I help coach and teach individuals about forgiveness, and forgiveness, healing, healing hurts, pains, and traumas in order to step into your destiny. And we do it through forgiveness and affirmations, meditation, journaling, so that you can become. I am a co-facilitator with public speaking, and public speaking wasn't something that I wanted to do. I didn't realize that I was public speaking every day when I interact with other individuals. But it is important that we learn how to publicly speak, how to gain the confidence with our stories so that we can share them with others, so that they can be empowered and encouraged and inspired to speak their truth, to share their message so that they can help someone else, so that they can save someone else's life. So that's a little bit of background about me. And I'm also a mother of a 16-year-old son.
All right, thank you both. I'll start off with the first question. I liked what you both said, I think, about sharing your story. And I think that's very important, especially in business. So kind of, how did you get to that point of being comfortable with sharing your story? This is for you both. So whoever would like to go first.
So I'll answer mine. I feel like I had no choice but to share my story, because there were so many people hurting. In bail bonding, I would have individuals say to me, like, this is not the life I want. I don't want to stay in jail. I want to do that back and forth. I have kids to raise. I have dreams. I have aspirations. What about you, Miss? You know, can you help me, Miss? And so being raised in the South, I wasn't always allowed to speak up. The saying was a child should be seen and not heard. So my voice was not empowered. And so when those individuals were asking me, what about you? What about you? I started realizing that I needed to speak up, that I shouldn't be ashamed of who I am and where I come from, and that my voice is necessary and needed, and my story is necessary and needed in order to save someone else's life. So I started slowly sharing because I wanted to be mindful of those family members who were not ready to hear the truth. And as I grew, as I began to hear my voice and love the sound of my voice, I started sharing more. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm here today. So to be a part of this platform, to be able to speak to you all is a blessing, to share my truth so that you too can share your truth.
Thank you. Ms. Green Turner.
Yeah, no, I love that. I actually went to Laredo. So we kind of have that in common. So I actually, get where you're coming from. Laredo was right across the street from Smoky Hill High School. As far as like not feeling seen and also not seeing the representation, and representation matters, to see people who look like you. So I really appreciate being in the South, going to an HBCU. Truly, I consider Miles College the Harvard of the South, but also my educational savior. I talked a little bit about my background, but in terms of public speaking, I was petrified to public speak, but it was actually the president of the institution who tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, because I went from taking 099 courses, remedial courses, and I did a full transition and graduated magna cum laude. It was in 2014 when my president tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, I would like for, the students to just hear your journey. And it was in that moment when, first time public speaking in a large room of the, filled with graduating class at our honors convocation. And I got up and I just told my story of what I did, what the grit and tenacity looked like, and how, being at Miles and going to a Southern institution changed the entire trajectory of my life and my adulthood, literally shaped and formed me. And so in that moment, yes, as terrifying as it was, I was able to essentially, be a beacon for someone else. And, I keep referring back to how if I can do it, you can do it too. But because I was able to get up in front of the room and share my story, I had so many people come up to me and just say, hey, you don't look like what you've been through. And I never guessed, the 4 years you were going here, that, those were some of your struggles and your traumas. And it essentially, was the turning point in my speaking career, motivated me and also, propelled my speaking encouragement forward and really gave me the encouragement to continue sharing my story and my journey. And through the repetition of doing that, I got more comfortable. And I don't care if it's a room filled with, 2 to 3 people or no one, I still want to get up and share my story, because through your story, you don't know who it can resonate with, and it may touch someone. And if I can, impact one person's life or share my journey or my story or a piece of advice, then, I feel like my journey is done and I'm walking in my purpose. And so by me sharing my story, I feel that I, continue to walk in my purpose. So that was my story and my journey and how I got comfortable. with public speaking. And that's the one thing about HBCU, just on the side note, because I keep, talking about HBCUs or just being in the South, that Southern hospitality, and it just took someone believing in me. But the president of the institution, for him to really tap me on the shoulder and just call me, and help me, it takes sometimes a mentor or someone to help you, to believe in you. And I didn't have that here. I'm sure there's organizations like this one and other organizations, but just in schools and growing up, I didn't really have that, someone to truly invest in me and care enough to say, hey, I think you'd be good at this. So yeah.
Wow, thank you both. I mean, powerful, powerful gems. So I'm gonna open this up for our students to ask some questions.
And I'm sorry, I can't see everyone on the call, and I don't know if we've done introductions. How many students, and do you mind, before they ask their questions, just maybe a couple or a brief introduction?
Yes, I can. So we have currently 3 high schoolers online today. So let's go ahead and have Dylan introduce himself.
My name is Dylan, and I'm 14 years old. I'm currently trying to develop software for my a company I'm trying to design for games and stuff. I'm also just kind of enjoying summer, and I like what you had to say, but my Wi-Fi is really bad, so I'm having a bit of difficulty hearing people. So if I don't always understand what's going on, I just want to let people.
Great, thank you, Dylan. And Dylan's from Florida. All right, let's have Jalen go next.
Hi, I'm Jalen. My camera's not on right now, but I go to Smoky Hill High School. I'm 15 years old, and I want to become an entrepreneur in more beauty and jewelry and clothing. And yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, Jalen. Let's have Amira. Amira, are you able to?
I don't think I'm allowed to turn on anything, but if you can hear me, that would be great.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name's Amira. I'm 15. Actually 14, going on to 15 very soon. And I go to DSSD Montview Middle School. And I'm a lot similar to Jalen's situation. I'm planning on starting a business for jewelry as well. No clothing lines, but it has a lot to do with homemade supplies.
All right, thank you, Amira. All right.
I would like to say something. Well, thank you, students, for being here. I'm grateful for you and the fact that you all are working towards entrepreneurship. You're doing that. You have the mindset for it. If I could offer you some gems, some words of advice. Number one is to have a mentor, someone who is in that field, who does what you're doing. And they can be someone that you physically can talk to, but also that you may find on YouTube or different platforms, Pinterest or what have you, Instagram, social media. But have a mentor, have multiple mentors so that you can learn from them, so that you can ask them questions. The other thing that you need to be is coachable. Be open to receive the information, be open to receive feedback, to not take it personally, but to be able to take that information and that feedback that you're receiving on how to make your business better, to be able to take that and tweak what you need to, keep what is good, and then just improve on what is weak, what is not the strength, and grow that into a strength. So have a mentor. Next is to listen and to learn under that mentor. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We don't have to know everything. So when we listen, we grow. And when we grow, we become better. When we ask questions, we shall receive. So asking your mentor the things that you have questions about so that you can improve and become better and better at your craft, at your business, is going to help you along your journey. It's going to create success. The other piece of that is to study the information that you have been given. Don't just take that information, hear it, and then set it to the side and say, I know, I know, I know. Continue to study. That's how you become better and better. And you're going to become one with what you're doing. That's how you figure out what your purpose is. Because you can be passionate about something, but not really know what field you want to be in, what space. Once you study it and you become one with it, you'll find your purpose. Continue to learn. And then after you've studied, then you're going to apply and practice. Apply the information, practice what you've learned. Practice creates preparedness, not perfectness. It's preparedness. Then you're prepared for any room that you step into to share. You know that you have retained the information when you can teach someone else, when you can stand up and talk about your business and it is effortless. It is flowing. So ask for help, get a mentor, study, and apply and practice. And it's also like asking, you shall receive. Seek out the information, which is studying, and then knock and doors of opportunity will open for you. So that's applying and practicing, because you never know when someone will say, hey, Jalen, I need you to do makeup. We need a makeup artist. Hey, Amira, we need some jewelry. We need you to design something for some of our special guests. Dylan, can you create, an app or whatever it is? We need some help with gaming. You want to be able to step up and show up for yourself and those who need to be inspired by you. So those are some things that I wanted to share. Hope you took some notes.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Ms. Green Turner?
Yeah, no, I mean, I echo everything Ms. Harris just said. I was over here taking some notes. But I'm very big on the mentorship. I always share with my clients and my mentees is to adopt a personal board of directors. And your personal board of directors are a group of people who can be your biggest advocates, your chief motivational officers, right? So if you think in terms of a business, how a business operates, they have those shareholders, stakeholders, but it's the board really helping to make decisions to make sure this business can continue to operate strategically and be sustainable in the future. So your personal board of directors can be, Dr. Bowen, myself, or Mrs. Harris, or, someone in your niche, your field who can relate to you. And they also, I've gone through some similar situations, established a similar business, whether that be an LLC or, whatever it is that, you are looking to create, and can really help you identify any blind spots or areas of opportunity, or help you conduct a gap analysis to say, hey, this is where you're at. Here are the skills you need to get to X, Y, and Z, right? You can go to them for informational interviews, literally going online. And, I'm very big on LinkedIn, right? So, we have our 12, 13-year-olds creating LinkedIn, because can you imagine if, Dylan, you come up and you're like, hey, here, check out my portfolio on LinkedIn, right? And when you're reaching out on LinkedIn, early to get started, just to say, hey, I'm such and such, this is what it is I'm doing. You can or if I can bend your ear, and see what happens and have a conversation. I mean, just like with me reaching out to Dr. Bowen, the conversation, morphed into something else, and I've had the opportunity to speak 2 separate occasions, but you just never know. Ms. Harris talked about the knock and doors will open, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. So it's okay to reach out and have conversations and reach out and ask for help. And, the other thing I'll say is trust the process and don't rush the process. Okay, because you all are young, and I know it's easy for us to get caught up in, what such and such is doing, and their business line is on this side, and they're doing this just from what we see on social media. So it's important to, look at what you have going for yourself in your lane, but also, from that, just don't get caught up in what others are doing, right? Reach out when you can. And, the other thing I'll say is you can build the plane while you're flying, right? And so I say that because for me, starting my business, I kept saying, man, I don't have this degree yet. I don't have this credential. But, on the flip side, I will say imposter syndrome is real because those negative thoughts can creep in. But it took for my board of directors to, one of my mentors who's a part of my personal board of directors to say, hey, you did this, blah, 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 and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you know what? I'm Joshalynn. Like, I do have the skills to make this happen. So have that confidence, right? But also just know that you can continue to work on your skills and develop your skills while you're establishing your business, right? So that's what I mean by the term, you can build the plane while you're flying. And the other note, I can keep going on and on and on, but the other thing I will say is likes don't buy, right? Likes do not buy. So do not get discouraged if you're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and when you start promoting your business, or if you're already promoting your business and you don't see people investing, or you don't see people liking and engaging with your content, right? It took for my business coach to say, to let me know that, yeah, you're not getting the likes, or people aren't really engaging with your content, because as an online career coach, I have to be online, and I'm not getting the likes I want, or, maybe people aren't engaging. But it is true, right? Sometimes we can get deterred or get off of our course and our path and our calling because things aren't happening the way we want it to happen in that moment. But, through faith and trusting the process, not rushing the process, and having that mentorship and staying consistent, results will come. You will see the results. If this is a dream, hold on to it. If this is something that you want to come to fruition, and you're like, hey, I'm going to be, the next, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, or, the next, big makeup artist, or someone in the tech industry, and you have this goal in mind, keep at it. Just keep at it, keep going, and your hard work will pay off.
Yes, thank you both. Thank you. Powerful. I have Professor Lynn. Him and I do a lot of programming together. And I see him as a mentor, but also I see him as a big brother. And there's times that we challenge each other. There's times we may be kind of frustrated with each other too, but just building that relationship, having those individuals to push you, because you don't want to have someone that just tells you yes. All right. You don't want to have those yes people. You want to have somebody that will tell you no, or tell you, hey, maybe look at it this way. That's how you grow. And so these two lovely ladies are giving some great information. So Professor Lynn, do you have anything to ask, or would you like for the students to just go ahead?
Oh, yes, I tend to have a few little questions to ask, but no, thank you so much, ladies, for imparting so much wisdom and sharing. what to prepare for the journey, because it is definitely a marathon. It is not a sprint if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur long term. So can you, I guess the first question is, do either of you have a business plan? And if not, or if so, do you think they're important before or after you start a business?
So I can,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ms. Harris.
I am currently working on my business plan. So I started, and that part needed to be done because I tended to procrastinate looking for perfection. And so just starting was the thing that I needed to do to realize where I wanted to be. What is it exactly? What value am I adding, and what space and place do I need to be in? And once I took action, now I can tweak and develop the business plan, the business model, the way that I need to. And Dr. Bowen is assisting with that. So I think it depends on what it is that you are aspiring to do. A business plan is extremely important so that you know where you're going. But if you are having trouble or struggling with getting started, you need to take that leap, because fear will stop you. And so if you're afraid to do the thing and you're like, well, I keep hearing that I need to have this business plan, I need to have this, I need to have that, you will never start. So do the thing and you shall have the power. Take action. If you're afraid, do it anyway. Let that fuel you into your inspiration, into what you want to do. You'll have the right people along the way. You'll build those relationships. And again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's the slow and steady that will lead you to that first finish line. Understand that life is a multitude of finish lines. You never just get to one space and you're done. So the small steps along the way, the consistent habits leading up to that business plan are the lessons that you need to learn to improve and to become better and better so that you can step into your destiny. Just continue on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tuneishia.
Yeah, I agree, and those are some great tips. Very big on developing a business plan, whether that's using, and I'm also very big on frameworks, so I'm just going to share a few. But, SMART goals, you all have probably heard of them since you're in this program, but, specific, measurable, attainable, reachable, timely, to help you break down, actionable time frames, but also set realistic goals to help you get to where it is you want to be. Once it's on paper, you can start to manifest, your goals and whatever it is you have in mind and you want to accomplish. The other thing I shared with a previous class, the ALG group that I spoke with at Dr. Bowen's workshop was, the take flight method. And, just focusing on, what it is that matters, right? And getting crystal clear on what it is you want. Everything's not going to be perfect, but just knowing what it is that matters. And then learning to lean on others, investigating your options, getting goal oriented, and then honing in on your skills and tailoring your strengths to your preferred industry and, niching down. So you hear this niche thing, but if it's makeup, if you think about a specialist, right? And I'm very big on niching down because, for me, my industry in the HR recruiting background, I have 7-8+ years in the industry, and career coaching made sense, but it was what kind of career coach did I want to be? Okay, I'm going to help professional driven women get equipped with skills to help them secure significant increases, right? So for you, if you're in the tech industry, what do you want to do? Are you coding? If you're doing apps, what kind of apps are they to help set you apart? right? Since I mentioned, Jeff Bezos before, he changed the online shopping experience through Amazon, and he was, that was a niche industry, and he's made it lucrative, right? So really thinking about what skills you currently have, but what sets you apart in your industry, and also what separates you from your competition. Okay, through that business plan. Business model canvas is another thing that you can look into, which gives you a great template and format that actually I think Walmart created when building out their plan. So think about, what frameworks. There's so many tools and resources out here that can help you develop a great business plan. But the other thing too is it won't be perfect the first time, and that's fine. Ms. Harris mentioned just, having or putting yourself out there, getting started. And that's so important. I've revisited. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for about 8 months now, and I've revisited my blueprint and my business plan, and I've, made it better. Because I've invested in myself to help make that vision be more appealing, also invest in my overall brand, so on and so forth. And times are changing, right? So like I mentioned social media before, so thinking about algorithms, they constantly change. So in doing that research, I have to know, okay, well, what am I going to do to separate myself from my competitors? And all of this is, in the business plan, and constantly going to it, revisiting the blueprint, enhancing it, tweaking it where needed and when necessary, and making sure I'm staying on track and only focusing on my niche and my field, and not taking on, any and everybody just because I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I need a client. Like, let me stick to my blueprint, and that helps me to stay on track, and set those realistic goals, to keep moving forward. So that would be my take and some of my feedback regarding the business plan.
Thank you, Ms. Joshalynn, and thank you, Ms. Tuneishia. All right, students, let's go ahead and ask some questions. Okay, Jalen, go ahead and ask the first question.
Okay. I have a question for Miss Turner. So when you went to college, did you major in business?
So that's a great question. It took me a while to figure out my major just because I was all over the place and I just didn't know. So I actually majored in management information systems, which is a combination. It's a newer field. I think about 10, 15 years old. It's a combination of computer information systems and business administration. So taking those two and knowing what I wanted to do, because CIS, computer information systems or sciences, is actually, the coding, the C++, the Java website, 101. And then that business side, I was able to learn the accounting piece, so on and so forth. So it was, I recommend the field, for you all to maybe look into it, just hearing what some of your platforms or, your interests are as far as entrepreneurs, is just to do your homework, even if that field isn't for you. Business administration's great. There's so many amazing industries out there. But what I loved the most about my major was that it tied, both of my interests together. And I knew that, okay, to be successful in business or entrepreneurship, both the major aligned with everything I was going after. So I guess to that point is before securing your major or looking into a major, just, try to do your homework first. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
What exactly would be a few good first steps? Because you mentioned you can fly the plane even though you're still building it. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so you can build a plane while you're flying is being here, right? It's you can still have a business plan and put the word out there while you're working on things in the back end. prime example, to take it a little bit further, when I started my nonprofit, it wasn't a 501c3, right? It wasn't a tax exempt organization because I was trying to figure it out. But I knew that I wanted to establish an organization to, help the youth invest in themselves and also, support young women of color. And nothing was going to stop me from doing that. So I still put a flyer out there, and I still had people come out while I was still working on the 501c3 process on the back end. I still established the organization and started to gain supporters, figure out who my board was going to be, how to recruit students, so on and so forth. So that is what I mean. So if you have this idea, keep working on it. You don't have to worry about the registration and where the money's going to come from and all of that. If you have that idea, put that pitch together and, start to reach out to people. So that's what I meant by you can build the plane while you're flying.
Thank you. That answered my question.
Amira?
My question was also going to be about her college major. I was going to also ask and elaborate on that as well. For college, did you change your majors more than once or twice?
You said, did I have more colleges in mind?
No, I'm saying, did you have more majors in mind?
Oh, one major. In college, I didn't at first. At first, I was just all over the place. I was, a CIS major. I, thought I was going to be in IT, but that didn't work out for me. And, I was like, I don't know if I want to code. And I just kept, kind of exploring and testing the waters. And that's when I finally found out about the major MIS, because I had already taken some courses on the CIS side. And so that's when I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and I wouldn't have to, spend another year or two in college. I could still get those business courses. So to answer your question, I did not have one major in mind. I had no idea what it is I wanted to do or what I was going to do when I was in college. I just kind of, explored and, had some amazing mentors. So kind of going back to Tuneishia's point about the mentors and just finding, people who have your best interest at heart. And that helped me along the way throughout my matriculation. And that's when I finally decided, okay, MIS is for me.
Thank you so much.
I have a question for Ms. Harris. So pretty much when you came to Smoky Hill, was it a culture shock in a way? Because when you're in New Orleans, you have Black educators and you have more people that look like you. So whereas when you came to Colorado, it was not very not as much of us here.
Absolutely. So I came in middle school and I went to 3 different schools. And it was a huge culture shock because being raised around Black educators, I felt understood and I felt heard in that sense. They understood what the struggle was. And you wouldn't think a child would have struggles, but we do. And when I came to Smoky Hill, it was no one looked like me. None of the teachers, I could express myself I'm having, a day where they would understand okay, T, let's sit down and talk. It was move along, move along, move along. But we also had race wars. And so being South, Northern Louisiana, near Monroe, we were divided. Whites were on one side of the lake and Blacks were on the other. So we knew where we stood. We understood our place, I guess you could say. And so though there was racism, it wasn't in your face as much as at Smoky Hill, because it was covert, but it was like direct. And so there were race wars where you would get called out of your name, and then there were fights and they were spitting on us. And for me, I retreated because I'm like, coming from Louisiana where we're separated, I didn't experience this type of racism. And so I did not excel the way that I should have because those were distractions. But I also didn't feel like I had a space or a place or feel seen or heard. So I went back to Louisiana to a HBCU so I could regain my sense of self, to understand that my skin color is not a deterrent, to understand that I am beautifully made, fearfully made. I am Black and I am proud. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, because like last year we had like a lot, like I could see where you're coming from because like last year we had a lot of like racist reports. Like we even had like a walkout because like people will write like the N-word on people's cars and like say the N-word on social media and like even call them like in person too. And like this, like the staff and administration wouldn't really do anything about it. And so that's why we had like a walkout.
Oh my gosh. So the cycle continues. How did you deal with that? And how did you and other students have a safe space to talk about this? How are you feeling about it now? And then I would like to know how I can support you to be there during this time that you've experienced this, to talk about it.
Honestly, well, we all like a whole bunch of, because I'm part of like, well, we were all like in Black Student Union. And so all of us like really talked about the situation and addressed it. Like we even, because we have a Black assistant principal to whereas I felt more comfortable telling him about it and everything. And to whereas he understand where we're coming from and he knew that I wasn't okay. And so it was easier to like see a change in a way, but it's still kind of the same, but we're now seeing like more help within like our culture and everything. And so things are like situations are getting resolved.
Okay, that is good to hear. Well, know that I am here to support, to listen, to be a safe space and a safe place for you to vent, to share, and to just be open. Through this, I will continue to share my story. And I will say to always stand up for yourself, to show up for yourself, because that will help inspire someone else. And like the mental health piece of this is extremely important because that sometimes gets placed to the side to have self-care and to take care of you. Because hearing those words, though you are not the N word, right? It penetrates sometimes. And so you have to know that you are more than that word, that you are a queen in the making, that you are purposeful, that you were born in abundance and not in lack, and that those words that are being spilled out to you all are based out of fear. And they are taught. No one is born racist. So they're hearing and spewing that hatred because they don't know who they are. And so I encourage you to learn more about who you are. You're more than the name Joshalynn. That was the name that was given to you. But who are you? I am peace. I am a warrior princess. I am beautifully and fearfully made. Speaking these words of affirmation over yourself so that you can stand up and arrive to who you are destined to be, and letting those words not become distractions, but to become fuel to become better. You are destined for greatness. All of you are. So let no one speak death over you. You speak life over yourself so that life can be spoken over others. And you send those individuals love and light, even when it seems like, why would I do that? Because when you send love and light to them and healing energy to them, you get more of that back for yourself. So I hope those words are helpful.
Thank you.
Amen. Very encouraging words, Miss Tuneishia. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's sad that that's still dealing with that in today's so supposedly postmodern society.
Right, because that was in the 90s. I graduated in 1995, and oh my gosh, I just couldn't believe that was happening. And again, being from Lake Providence, Louisiana, our name embodies the lake. We were separated. So they may say the N-word to you, right? Or why are you on this side of town? But we knew that was coming based on where we live. But to come to a city and experience that in high school where the Boston market was run by like a neo-Nazi, and knowing that they could spit in our food, and we're spending our dollars here and we're not wanted. And that's another thing I will say. You create your own table. You don't beg for a seat at anyone else's table. If someone tells you they do not want you, they don't want you to spend at their store, you don't have to beg them to do said thing. You create your own. Let them go. And I get like saying it's not right and it's not fair, and you want to, show who they are. But the best way that you can do that is by not patronizing that business and creating your own space in your own lane so that others can come. Because we beg to be seen when it's already within us to create and develop and build like our own things. We have it. So never beg for a seat at someone else's table. Create your own.
All right, any other questions? Well, I guess I have one more, Ms. Tuneishia. I know that Dr. Jamal and Ms. Oh gosh, I'm gonna mess up her name.
Joshalynn.
Joshalynn had to roll out, but how would you define success?
I believe success is failing your way forward. It is the no's that you receive. It's the lessons along the way. It's the sleepless nights. It's the churning in your stomach. It is the not knowing when it will happen, but it is believing before seeing. It is that undeniable faith that drives you into success. It is the falling down 7 times and getting back up that 8, which defines success. It is the family members not supporting you in your vision and your dream, and you still saying yes to yourself that I'm going to continue on because I believe in me. That is success. It is failing forward. It is recognizing that all those, small steps have now become quantum leaps. Success is a journey. It is not a destination. It is learning about yourself, discovering who you are. It is, tweaking the things that need improvement. It is building your weaknesses into strengths. It is standing up and showing up for yourself when you have nothing else, when you cannot retreat. It is saying that I'm going to lay it all on the line, and no matter what, I must succeed. I can succeed. I will succeed. I must succeed. I get that from Eric Thomas. It is believing in you when no one else believes. That is success, and it is in you. You're going to have family members that tell you to do something different. I challenge you to continue to dream and push forward. Those family members are not doing that thing that you want to do. This is why you need a mentor. This is why you surround yourself around the people that have the success that you desire. Your family members love you, but they may not see your vision because their fears they are placing on you because they don't want to see you struggling. They don't want to see you down and out. They don't want to see you disappointed. They don't want to hear you when you say you've been turned away. So they're going to tell you, you know what, maybe do this thing over here because there's more security over here. You'll have a steady income. You'll have health insurance. But when you have a burning desire within you, you have to say to them, thank you for your words, but I'm going to stand over here because I believe in my dream. I believe in me. And I know that what I have is special and it's going to add value to someone else's life. Thank you. You're not doing that thing that I want to do. So I'm going to stay over here. And then you gravitate towards those people that have that success and you will be just fine. And your network is your net worth. I will say it one more time. Your network is your net worth. So you're going to have to separate in order to elevate. You're going to have to separate from those friends, from those family members, from those classmates, from those teachers who tell you that you can't. And you're going to have to stand with those individuals and align yourself with the individuals who are going to push you, who are going to tell you that you are greater and there's greatness inside of you and push you into who you are destined to be. And then you can come back. You will never leave anyone behind, but you have to leave them where they're at that time so you can continue to create that generational wealth and break those generational curses. So stand up for what you believe in. Know that success is a journey. It is not a destination. And it may not always be easy, but it is worth it. And it is worth it because you are worth it. You are worthy and you are enough.
If that isn't a mic drop, I don't know what is. And that is powerful, Tuneishia. You bless my soul with that. So I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to add, but I think we just need to thank Ms. Tuneishia and Ms. Tanya for coming today. And, you know, we will meet again next week. We don't have, I'm going to send out an exercise for you guys to work on. It's about a young teenager who wanted to start a business, make his own money. And so this is going to kind of teach you his journey, as well as do a little bit of math. So look forward to that. But also look forward to more great speakers like we've had today. So thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Can I add one more thing before they hang up?
Yeah.
Be mindful of what you listen to, what you're digesting. This is your diet right here. And your diet is not only what you eat, but it's what you listen to. It is who you listen to, and it is what you read. So pick up books that are going to teach you something. Also, what you're listening to. If you're listening to discouraging,
Ms. Tuneishia, your audio went out for some reason.
Thomas, Les Brown, Mel Robbins. These are individuals, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn. These are individuals that will inspire. David Emanetier, Lisa Nichols. These are a few of the individuals that you can turn on YouTube and listen to. Read books like Think and Grow Rich. Start with why. Always have a why for what you are doing, and never lead with money first. Always be of service first. When you lead with service, the money will come. Understand that if you lead with money first in anything that you're wanting to do, you're going to delay your success. You won't be denied, but you will be delayed. Your vision should be strong so that when you speak to individuals, they want to buy in to what your service is, to what you're selling, that they're jumping on board just because they hear you speak. So do it with passion, do it with love, do it with service, and know that money will follow and flow to you easily and effortlessly, because no money has ever left this planet. Know that there's an abundance of it and you deserve it. Believe that you can and you will. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. But if you do the thing, you take action, you shall have the power. And I'm done. I hope you guys have a better than amazing day.
All right, young entrepreneurs, let's tell Ms. Harris, thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very
Thank you.
inspirational.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, and you are the future. So I look forward to supporting you, to seeing your faces, to seeing your creations. Keep going, keep striving, keep doing the thing. You all are destined for greatness, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.